Why get all your holiday decorations delivered through Instacart? Because maybe you only bought 2 wreaths, but have 12 windows. Or maybe your toddler got very eager with the advent calendar. Or maybe the inflatable snowman didn't make it through the snowstorm. Or maybe the twinkle lights aren't twinkling. Whatever the reason this season, Instacart's here for hosts and their whole holiday haul. Get decorations from the Home Depot, CVS, and more through Instacart and enjoy free delivery on your first 3 orders. Service fees and terms apply.
Hey everybody, it's me, Paul Scheer from The League and Veep. I host a podcast called How Did This Get Made with June Diane Raphael and Jason Mantzoukas, where every episode we break down the best of the worst movies ever made. This week we are talking about the 1982 cult classic monster movie, Q, the Winged Serpent. Oh my God, where to begin? First of all, this monster only eats heads. And let me tell you, the climax is a bunch of guys firing a machine gun at a big dinosaur egg. Anyway, tune in to How Did This Get Made, the podcast that makes bad movies better, to hear all about Q, the Winged Serpent.
Ask me, ask Eliza anything. It's time to ask. Ask me all your questions. Leave them in the Instagram comment section. Leave them on your Twitter or leave them on your Facebook. We'll see them, we'll read them, then we'll give you answers. You know it, I've got it. I've got the answer, the answer. You ask me, I'll tell you anything.
Well, today's a very special episode of Ask Eliza Anything because, as you probably can tell from your loyal listening-ship, we don't really do guests. Honestly, because it's a pain in the ass to book, and then you got to get a booker. But in this case, I thought this was the perfect guest. You can say hi.
Hi.
I'm not gonna I always feel like it's a power thing when people make people wait for their intro.
Yes.
Rebecca Serle is a close friend. You've seen her on my Instagram. I've been on hers. We're not on each other's Instagrams often because we're both very busy, and she is a very talented writer. But the most important part is that she's a close friend. And you know her, and even if you think you don't know her because she writes New York Times bestselling books. And you've seen them at the airport. Sometimes I post them because it's the closest I think I will ever get to a New York Times bestseller. She is the New York Times bestselling author of In 5 Years and One Italian Summer, and her new, we're calling it a romance novel?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Expiration Dates is out March 19th. It's told with her signature warmth and insight into matters of the heart. Rebecca Serle has finally set her sights on romantic love. The result is a gripping, emotional, passionate, and yes, heartbreaking novel about what it means to be single in LA.
In LA.
What I enjoyed about it was I was like, I know exactly where they're going.
Yeah.
What it means to find love, and ultimately how we define each of them for ourselves. So order your copy of Expiration Dates now, although I think a lot of you probably already have, because this is the type of writer that my listeners read.
That's so nice. I love you, and thank you for having me. I'm just happy to spend time with you and be here.
I'm happy to spend time with you. She brought me flowers. Bring your girlfriend's flowers.
Bring your girlfriend's flowers. Everybody wants flowers, and we don't get enough flowers. You know what I heard? I heard the other day somebody said that the first time men get flowers is often at their own funerals. And that made me so sad.
Oh,
I'm like, I need to bring
them.
my husband flowers.
He doesn't want them.
Okay.
He wants steak.
Doesn't everybody enjoy flowers, or really just women?
I think it's women.
Okay.
I think men are weird about it. But maybe I don't know.
I don't know.
Depends on the kind of guy you got.
In the meantime, anyway, women enjoy flowers. Bring them to
My
your
husband
friends.
loves stick season. Like, we'll go to the farmer's market, like big, like cherry blossom sticks.
Yeah.
He like confessed to his mother. He's like, I don't think Eliza likes stick season. I'm like, get the sticks.
They also shed everywhere, those sticks.
Oh, I think we're thinking of different sticks. Oh, you know what? You're right. They do.
They do.
They got
do.
them. Yeah. But he likes the sticks.
Okay.
So we have a couple questions for you,
Great.
specifically because my listeners are incredible, and then we have regular questions. But I feel like you and I have like these like fetch sessions where we get together and we're like, and here's the problem. And so I thought you'd be perfect for the advice for these women, mostly women,
please.
And some men. And the funniest thing you ever said to me was you were just like, oh, now I have to paraphrase it. You were just like, we were talking about TV, and you were like, why are 100% of shows about murder?
Yeah, 100%. And everything's on fire all the time. It's just all terrible.
You and I agree on pretty much everything, which is great. We're both straight shooters. So here we go.
Here we go.
My name is Danny, and I'd love to be a published author one day. I was wondering what writing advice, what makes good writing, a good story, you'd give to an aspiring author, and what's some business advice, like, how to actually get published, that you would give. And it's a big question, but
No, I love this question because I think it's smart to think tangibly like that. Okay, so first on the writing advice, I would say just read as much as you possibly can, like apprentice yourself to books.
you read so many books because I see you post them.
I read a lot, and to be honest, I don't even read as much as I would like to read, or as much as you have to read a lot. You have to really understand the mechanics of how books get built, and I think when you're starting off, it's also fun to sort of like mimic other voices until you find your own. Anyway, you got to read. Reading is really helpful. My best piece of publishing advice is to, first of all, try to find a peer group where you can like actually be edited by people, because you need to have like other reads to get your manuscript to the point that it can be ready to be submitted.
She's saying you want feedback from people that you respect, not just like your aunt.
Yes. And what I will also say, like, yes, people you respect, but not necessarily other writers, because people know what a good story is. Like, you don't have to be a writer to know what a good story is, to know where the holes are. You just need to actually like enjoy reading.
Very good point.
And then look in the backs of books that are comparable to the book that you're writing. See who is thanked in the acknowledgments as the agent, and then look that person up and see what their submission requirements are.
That's a real pro tip. Not just like write your best.
No, like that's how you do it. And like that person will have, they'll have a website, their agency will have a website. You'll see like, can you cold submit? Do they prefer email? Do they prefer hard? Whatever it is. And don't just
send it.
No, don't just send it.
Because that will get it thrown out and they'll remember they don't like you.
Don't just send it. And also like don't reach out on social media. It just go through the appropriate channels, I think.
Yeah, these agents read a lot. So if it goes in their inbox, they're going to read that for sure. That's really concise advice.
Oh.
You're like, I give it all the time. And just so you guys know, a lot of you wrote really nice things into the podcast that are compliments. I'm uncomfortable reading compliments about myself on here. It's great when Emily reads them to me. So I have edited a lot of your questions down. I did it all by myself. My name is Allie. I'm a 32-year-old female, and while I'm not a nursing or graduate student, like all of my fans, I did also graduate from the IBO program like Emily, so it feels like I went to grad school and high school. I'm fabulous by nature, ginger by choice, and a full-time indie author writing Outlander for teens. Time travel romance, in case that wasn't clear. Did you know what that was?
Yeah, I know it. Yeah, I like it.
She's like, it's my fucking business. And then you go on to say a lot of nice things about me and Noah. Okay. Similarly, Rebecca Serle has been an auto-buy author since I picked up When You Were Mine 12 years ago.
That's so nice.
Thought you'd like to hear that.
I love whenever people have been like there for the YA. It's the best.
Your whole career.
It's the best.
And I haven't stopped reading or recommending your book since. Your pacing, unique but relatable feelings, plots, poignant prosaic writing style, and subtle magical realism is always such a pleasure to read. I am impatiently counting down the days until expiration dates debuts.
That's so sweet.
Now, for my context and question.
Yeah.
I've been successfully self-publishing for the last 3 years and have amassed a backlog of 12 books. I average about 4 a year, all clocking between 55 to 70K words.
Whoa.
I have a really strong, is that a lot of words?
I mean, that's just a lot of books.
A lot of books.
Yeah.
I have a really strong and growing audience in this niche as well as really solid ranking/income, but I'm burnt out. I feel creatively tapped and I've been struggling to get myself out of this funk. My question is, how do you deal with creative burnout? What are your go-to rituals to reinvigorate your creative brains? My typical slump buster technique, journaling, going for walks, drives, researching a new project aren't doing it for me right now. Is it time to explore a new genre? Is it the dread of knowing my cash cow is about to stop producing new milk? Do I just need to take a step back for a minute and take stock? Best of wishes for an incredible year ahead, Allie.
Oh, Allie, first of all, thank you so much. That is so sweet. Second of all, I think it's possible you're just doing too much. Like 4 books a year is a lot. I publish a book every other year. I do a launch once a year, but then it's hardcover 1 year. And then the next year it's the paperback of that book. So you're not really sort of like reinventing the wheel. I think it's possible that you're just publishing a little bit too much. And also you said you're self-publishing, which means you're doing a lot on your own. You're doing marketing, you're doing publicity, like you're sort of your own publisher. And so I would say, maybe try what it feels like to do 2 next year and to sort of read more, honestly. Like whenever I'm feeling burnt out, and I don't write I don't write all the time. I probably write about 4 months of the year, and the rest of the year is editing or dealing with the various other aspects of my business. But whenever I'm feeling burnt out, and I understand that this was my answer to the last question too, but it's an important one, I read. I read because it sort of just resets the table. It connects me to the way other people put words together. It also excites me when I read something that I think is really interesting or unique or different, and maybe I want to try. So I would suggest scaling back on the publishing schedule and spending more time reading and appreciating books, I think, is my advice.
It sounds like you have your life pretty well paced out. Like you have this down to kind of like a science.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yes, but also like my life is changing and the process is always dynamic. And you always, I think, have to be looking at it and thinking about like, does this work now?
I think that's great advice. Does this work now? Like the thing that worked 5 years ago.
Yes.
It's not that you don't have the passion for it. Like maybe it just doesn't work now.
It just doesn't work. Like I think life and also art is meant to be dynamic and it's meant to continue testing us. Like that's how we grow and evolve as artists and as people. So
it's so true.
It's like anytime you really get in a groove and you're like, okay, this is just how I run life, something's going to change and you're going to have to change. And that's okay.
Taking swings. Like I hear that you write these Outlander style books. Like, is that what you still want to write?
Yeah.
Or is there something within that genre? Like, it's okay to have a swing and a miss.
Yes.
I know that it's scary when you're self-published, so like you are your business, but you're talking to two independent contractors. Like we both don't have that like steady income, but I don't know that I've experienced burnout because I don't really have like a corporate job, but I will say I never put pressure on myself to write jokes. Like I will go months. I went like just without write like, and it's.
I think that's really, really good advice. Like I think you have to trust your art back. Like you got to trust that it's going to return to you.
100%.
Yeah.
It's not going, if you wrote this many books, it's not just going to stop one day.
No.
So that's great advice.
Yeah. And good luck.
Fall has fallen. Winter is on its way. The days are shorter. But just because, they feel shorter. And just because the days feel shorter doesn't mean your to-do list gets any shorter. You still have to power through your busy days. And a great way to do that is with nutritious food from Factor's no prep, no mess meals. At the end of a short day in the fall or the winter, the last thing you want to do is have to cook. Factor has got you covered from breakfast, snacks, dinner, anything in between. Factor has easy, nutritious options to keep you fueled, like their chicken Florentine with spinach and garlic chili cauliflower. You bet. That's what I want to make myself at the end of a day where I am exhausted and my husband isn't home. Whether you like routine or you enjoy mixing things up, Factor has you covered with 35 different delicious meals every week and over 60 additional convenience options you can add on, like keto cookies, pressed juices, and smoothies. And because Factor meals are chef prepared and dietitian approved, you're going to love not only Factor's meals taste, but also how they support your goals, even if your goal was just making yourself dinner. Head to factormeals.com/Eliza50 and use code Eliza50 to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month. That's code Eliza50 at factormeals.com/Eliza50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active.
The holidays are here. And for a lot of us, the holidays mean decorating, hosting, celebrating. For me, it means a lot of traveling. And nothing feels better year-round, but especially during the cozy holidays, than a restful night's sleep in soft, luxurious sheets. Boll & Branch's signature sheets are made with the finest 100% organic cotton, and they get softer with every single wash. You already know that I got Boll & Branch this summer when I needed breathable sheets to sleep in, but this holiday season, I'm actually gifting some of my friends and family Boll & Branch's Ultimate Softness Bundle. I get to choose a signature hem sheet set in any color, a signature hem pillow set, and a waffle bed blanket. And they're all getting juniper because I think it's a classy color. This way you know you have something nice to sleep on when you visit. It's the perfect gift for you and them. Gift you and your loved ones a better night's sleep with Boll & Branch. And right now is their best offer of the entire year. For 25% off plus free shipping on your first set of sheets, head to bollandbranch.com/Eliza. That's Boll & Branch, BOLLAND branch.com/Eliza for 25% off. Limited time only, exclusions apply. See site for details. So finally, fall is here. I have been looking forward to it. I have had a hard year in a good way. You know, like I had a baby. I have been on a nonstop tour, nonstop traveling, and it's been hot. So I'm looking forward to, of course, pumpkin spice, everything, cooler weather, and slipping into a cozy sweater from Quince. I've talked about Quince before. Quince has beautiful leather jackets, cotton cardigans, soft denim, and so much more. All Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Dressing expensive doesn't have to be expensive. Their clothing is beautiful, it's durable, it stands the test of time, and it's what I like to call a capsule wardrobe. I got an Italian wool cocoon coat that's one of those, it's got like a European collar and it covers my butt so I can walk around New York City and not be chilly. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. Get cozy in Quince's high-quality wardrobe essentials. Go to quince.com/Eliza for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/Eliza to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Eliza.
Hi, Rebecca. A huge fan of your book, One Italian Summer. Why did you choose Positano? And had you been before or did you travel there to be able to write the book? I felt so transported and almost could smell the food, me too, and the breeze in my skin while I read. Thanks for sharing your art with the world. It's so hard for me to read fiction, and your book is one of my faves so far. I have 2 copies as I started reading on a flight with a connection. I thought I lost the book, so I had to get a second, which of course is in an airport because only fucking big deal authors are in airports. I couldn't wait till I found the first one. Anyways, I did. Much love from Miami, Marcella.
Thank you, Marcella. By the way, I love how you always, the airport thing is really.
It gets me so jacked to see your book in airports.
You send me a photo all the time. Whenever.
And I'm like, I know you don't care because you have my friend wrote a book in the airport. Like, there's nothing cooler than it being in the airport.
I love it. I love your enthusiasm for airport books.
I'll never stop having it.
Okay, so my mom, similar to Carol, had spent a summer in Positano when she was 20 years old and met this man named Ramo and fell in love with him. And she had always just talked about this summer in Positano. And so my mom and I went back in the summer of 2019. We went to Rome and Positano, and we actually found Ramo on Facebook. And she met him. Did I never tell you this? No. She met him. She met him at the Trevi Fountain, which is the place that they had met 52 years before.
Which is like a good luck fountain, right? You throw.
Yeah. And the place that they had been was like a bar and is now like a Gap or whatever. But and so we met him, and he brought her this silver charm that said love on it that she had given him that summer.
Oh my
God. That he had kept. And he was like, honestly, okay, my mom is very happily married to my dad, but it was clear Ramo has really held the torch all these years. At one point he said to me, he really didn't speak much English, and he was like, you go home and your mama, she stay in Roma. And I was like, no.
Was he hot?
Yeah.
Wait, oh my God.
Yeah. So I really saw, we were getting ready to go meet him, and my mom was getting dressed, and she put on the skirt, and she was like, does this look good? Or she put on the shirt and she was like, does this cover my arms? And she was nervous and girlish and all of these things. Also, hi, Mama, because my mom loves you and is obsessed with you. So she's definitely listening to this podcast right now.
Aloha.
But all these things that I don't really get access to or to get to see
that
because
side of her.
Yeah, that side of her. And I remember the year that I was 23, 3 of my best friends lost their mothers to breast cancer in the span of 8 months. And I remember my one friend, Stephanie, saying to me, and they're all thanked in the back of the book because this book is really, really for them.
Oh.
And I remember her saying to me, I miss all of the women of my mom that I didn't get to know, all of the people that weren't just my mom. I miss her at 8 and 18 and 80. And that idea, I always just thought about that idea. And we're really getting off topic because you asked me about Positano, and I recognize that.
The mom, that's my favorite part of the book is the mom stuff.
But yeah, so we took this trip together, and it was so clearly, and then also, if you've read the book, you know that there's a little bit of a time thing. She gets to meet her mom when her mother is, also 30. And Positano is one of these places where it really, you could be at any point in time. The fashion is the same. There are no cars there. There's very little technology. The restaurants are the same as when my mom was there.
Yeah.
So it made sense from a practical standpoint. And then also your mom dies and you go to Italy to find yourself. I feel the going to find yourself is you go to Italy. It made sense.
I will say one of the things that it just got me. My mother is alive and well and listening to this podcast. And Mom, the reason we're never going to Rome is because you would be like, it's enough eating. the way that she ached for her mom and the way that you wrote, like, she was mine. Like, she was my mom. Like, just the way that you wrote it, Rebecca, you were able to tap, like, it felt like you had lost your mom. And even though I haven't, I was like, oh my God, this is someone that, like, it was such deep writing.
I think because it is like, I write a lot about the things that I'm afraid of.
Totally.
And
you ever write your mom's eulogy in your head?
Yeah.
I do it all the time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the book it felt like a letter to my future self to be like, here's what I can feel it because I think about it. I think about it so much.
Yes.
I really do. I think about it so much. And it's like, excuse me, but it's like fucked up that we have to be here without them at some point.
Yeah. Especially the older you get and the more you realize that.
If things go well, like God forbid it's the other way around, right? Like that's like we will ultimately have to.
They all do. We all do.
Yeah.
No, it's a beautiful book and those are great questions.
Yeah, they were.
But now we have to move on to the reality of life.
Sure.
And get into questions about bridesmaids. Are you ready?
I'm ready. By the way, I want to say about you that, like, I agree with you. I think that we oftentimes agree in the way we feel about things, but also, like, you're a little bit of a wild card. Like, sometimes I find your advice to be a little bit like, no, it's always good. That's not what I'm saying.
No, I don't care.
But sometimes I'm like, I'm not entirely sure the way you're going to respond to something. Because sometimes it's sort of like, whatever. And then other times it's like, no, like, this is serious. Do you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm like, I can't be bothered. And then I'm like, I will go to war over this one refund.
Yes. Okay, Bridesmaids.
I pick all my battles and I have time for pettiness. Let's start with one that I bolded. Hi, AIA crew. Thank you for all that you do in the space you provide for us. I've seen you twice in Northern California. I was able to attend your book signing in San Francisco. I just turned 39 in January. And I feel like I'm expiring. Over the last 12 years, I have been in 2 long-term relationships that were both wrong for different reasons. One, 8 years, was very manipulative, emotionally and verbally abusive, and kept dangling the hopes of a future. And the second, 4 years, was with a very nice guy, but he was always extremely emotionally unavailable and skated around conversations about the future, moving in together, marriage, and babies, and seemed to only care about where we were traveling to next. I recently ended this relationship, which was very hard because unlike the other, there was no big trauma to leave. I just needed to realize he wasn't the guy for me and wouldn't be able to give me what I needed. I've been in therapy for the last year and a half, which has helped me regain some of my self-worth. I lost my dad when I was 23 and my mom is 75. And the idea of not having my mom around when I'm pregnant makes me very sad. All right, so you're imagining you'll be pregnant and you're imagining she won't be around, which is very normal. She and I are very close and I'm lucky that she's never put pressure on me to have kids. I've taken the beginning steps to possibly freezing my eggs because having a child is a priority and a dream that I have. However, because I have no medical issues, my insurance won't cover it. And the whole process will cost $10,000 plus annual storage. Financing is available, but I also have a dream of owning a home. My question is for this elder millennial who has no clue about dating apps or how they work and is terrified to start dating right away. Do I bite the bullet and finance this safety net or wait a year or two in hopes that I meet the right person, knowing the amount of viable eggs I have will continue to decrease? I still very much want to get married and have a family with a partner, but I'm feeling like I'm running out of time. I'm a fairly social person with a good friend group, but I'm worried that I've lost so much time in these relationships that by the time I find the person, I'll be faced with even more pricey options when trying to get pregnant. I've always struggled with latching onto guys who show any interest in me, and I'm not the best at determining friends versus dating signals when I meet them. I know women have kids well into their 40s, but I don't know how to release the pressure I'm putting on myself. Thank you for listening. No need to be anonymous. My name is Mindy.
Hi, Mindy. Okay, there's a lot going on there.
I should have edited that question.
No. Okay, there's a lot going on there. Okay, I guess let's talk about the egg freezing part first. Okay, I want to say something about egg freezing that might be a little controversial, which is that it is not a guarantee. It is actually not a guarantee and a safety net. And I think it is I think it's effed up that it is marketed to women as being that way, especially as we get into our older 30s. And I'm not going to get too personal, but I'm speaking from very personal experience on this issue. You can and maybe should freeze eggs, but you also have to understand that if you do that, that is not a guarantee of a baby. Even if you get 12, even if you get 15, as we get older, our eggs are less viable than they used to be. And it's possible that like none of those eggs would actually mature into like a 5-day blastocyst that you could implant. So being that as it may, it still may be something you want to do. And I think it is a very good idea to go and get your fertility checked.
Thank you. Get
Okay.
it checked at a fertility specialist.
Yes, get it checked at a fertility specialist, and a fertility specialist and a really good doctor will be able to like really actually walk you through the reality of these statistics that
Great advice.
I'm giving you. So go make an appointment tomorrow. You don't have to commit to freezing your eggs.
Right.
Go get your fertility checked, see what you're working with, and have a very honest conversation. Hopefully you can find a good doctor. Have a very honest conversation with that doctor about, what the options are for you and what it's looking like for you. So that's what I would say.
I picked your question because you said I'm 39 and I feel like I'm expiring, and it broke my heart.
Yes.
Because I think that's a very relatable feeling for a lot of women.
Yes.
And I also think, I didn't get a ton in here about your career or anything else. You feel like you're expiring, and women do have this social shelf life, like you feel like you're expiring in terms of having kids, and that you're mad at yourself that you spent all this time in other relationships. Those relationships have made you this self-aware person that you are, for better or for worse.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter because they're done. And good for you for getting out of the last one. Today's a new day, and many people don't get that day.
Yes. Today's a new day, and many people don't get that day. And also, like, I was 37 when I met my husband.
Yeah.
Like, I think my favorite piece of advice that I was ever given that I think about all the time is trust the timing of your life.
Ooh.
And I think it's really true. Like it's exactly what you said. You are the person you are because of the things that you've been through. You can't go back and undo it. You're here.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
I got married later in life. I got married 36, 37, but I had a baby at 39, 40. And I know you understand all that. Women are doing this later and later. If homeownership's important to you, there are ways to make forays into all of these things without heavily committing. And so, first of all, give yourself a break.
Yes.
And just know that, like, it's out there if you want it.
It's out there if you want it. And also, like, you will feel your way to the version of your future that is right for you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think like you meet someone and, maybe it turns out that, like, I don't know, their wife passed away and they have like a 2-year-old, and you fall in love with that child and that's your version of life. Or you guys decide that you want a baby. There are a lot of different ways out there to have one, or
more than one way to skin a baby.
Yeah. Or like you use your eggs, or you meet someone in 6 months and you just know it's the person. And like, that's kind of how it went for me. It was so fast. So, I think like, you're in the middle. Don't decide the end of the story. You don't know it.
This idea, like, I've lost so much time in these relationships. By the time I find my person, that's not how it works.
No.
Like, oh, you spent so much time finding yourself that now that we're going to give you the person you want, now everything's going to be awful. First of all, maybe that person helps you pay for it. Maybe that person already has a home. I think you have set in your mind exactly what you want, but you're not open to the idea that, like, there might be something else in store that's different.
Yes.
So,
yes. And by the way, there is something in store that's different. Whatever it is, like there is something in store that's different. Like, you have to trust that what is meant for you is coming, and all you really need to do is just like keep moving towards what feels good in your life.
You want to buy that house? Buy that house.
Yes.
Fucking decorate it. You will figure out the way to have this baby. But this idea that you need to put everything on hold, and some women do, and that's what they do. But assess everything.
Mm-hmm.
And if this is the burning thing you want, then go out there. You start dating more, start sniffing around. There's guys out there that want.
Oh, for sure.
You're just got to, it just takes a little bit more time because you're not 28.
Yep.
But it's out there.
It's out there.
Quality women are getting married later and later.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. We all remember that feeling
Yeah.
where you're like getting older and you're like, what? You're almost angry at the universe. You're like, oh, so all these girls get married and I'm just going to rot on the shelf? No, there's no such thing.
There's no such thing.
Like, you're not going to like not have a home, not have a kid, not have a husband, and just be stagnant. Like, that's not happening.
No.
First time question asker, longtime fan, discovered the pod a year ago after seeing you in Sydney. Congratulations on baby boy. Thank you. I'm a 25-year-old female From Sydney, my boyfriend T and I have been together for 3 years. A few weekends ago, I went on a trip away with my boyfriend and his friends for Australia Day. My jacket was left with one of his friends who I met for the first time this trip. I live an hour and a half north from T. I moved from work 6 months ago. And his friend lives 30 minutes south of him. This is a math question.
Okay.
I asked him if he could pick it up for me, and he got all weird and said an hour-long round trip is too much. So I'm guessing you're talking about the friend.
Yeah. But also, like,
That's-
I feel like if she's asking, it's about the boyfriend. 'Cause
Right.
Otherwise, what are we helping? Well, I don't. What does the rest of it say?
For context, his best friend is, oh no,
Oh, it
it's
is
an
the
hour because he's going to his friend's house to get it.
And
It's
go
the
back.
boyfriend.
Okay.
All right. For context, we almost threw out the question. For context, his best friend is from Brisbane and asks him to pick up stuff from the group of friends all the time, usually within a 15 to 20-minute radius of where he lives, and he does that easily. Quit asking, am I the asshole? Reddit is dead to me, but you did say, am I the asshole for thinking he'd do this for me? I never ask him for favors spelled with a U, and I don't know his friend all that well. I know it's my jacket, but his response really annoyed me. I asked him the day after we left it, and then again a week later, thinking maybe he was just tired after the trip, but his response was the same. It doesn't seem like a big ask, and I do it easily. In fact, I've often gone out of my way to do things he likes. It's quite infuriating. Love, Anna. If you do it easily, Anna, go get the jacket.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, two things. One, I do think you could get the jacket because it seems like you guys are equidistant maybe from this friend, that this friend is like, or is the friend closer to the boyfriend in the other direction? I'm not sure.
why do you
But
need a jacket in Australia?
Presumably also you visit the boyfriend and you could just go when you're visiting the boyfriend. But regardless, like, you know, I mean, you're right. This is not a giant ask. And what? You think?
No, I'm trying to process all this. So basically, he's like, I don't want to drive a half hour to my friends and a half hour. Could you just ask the friend the next time, do you need this jacket
Right.
that badly? It is.
But maybe it's the point of the boyfriend not going out of his way to do something for her. Like, listen,
Yep.
like just without context, I don't feel like it is great. Like I would like the person I'm in a relationship with
To help you out.
help me,
Yep.
to help me and to go out of his way to make my life easier. That is part of the reason that you are in a relationship because, I mean, right. However, I don't really know like what his work schedule is. Like, is he a person who is,
Right.
you know, who's like really consumed on a project right now, or is working crazy hours, or doesn't have a ton of free time, and is he spending more of his time traveling to where you live as opposed to you going up to him? Like, I'm not sure.
Yeah. What's the value on the time? What you want is a boyfriend to love you and be like, yeah, I'll help you out.
Of course.
Can you make it like, I'll buy lunch on the way? It's
Yeah.
only a half hour. Like, it's not that much, but it is annoying. And I will tell you, because Rebecca's making it about what it should be about, which is the relationship. I'm making it about the jacket. I live in a home that for some reason is a black hole. When people come over, they leave stuff here. And then I'm fucking stuck with your water bottle, jacket, sunglasses forever.
Yeah.
I don't lose things. And for you, I'm mad at you. I left my jacket. It's such a girlfriend thing. I left my vest. My headband.
Like, it's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone.
Have the friend bring it over or go get it yourself.
Yeah.
The friend should just bring it the next time he comes, but it is you. That was your thing. Basically, it's your responsibility. You left it. Now you're making it his problem, which is fine if you like live together and you're like, I need you to I need you to deal with something.
Yes.
Manly. But he's probably like, this is a pain in the ass. I get nothing out of it. I'm just going. It's an hour in
Right,
the
and
car.
maybe he's like never even seen you wear that jacket. Like, I don't know. There's a lot more data.
What's
I
the jacket look like?
We'd actually need to be able to answer this. But like, if you're writing because this is indicative of your relationship and it's a little bit of a pattern, and you're writing because like you've noticed a few of these instances and what you really want us to say is like, is this okay behavior or not? Then I would ask you to look at that.
Depends on the rest of the relationship.
Depends on the rest of the relationship.
But it's really annoying you left
Depends
that
on the
jacket.
rest of it. I can't say that. It depends on the rest of the. Is that not a? It
It
depends.
depends on the rest of the relationship.
Yes, it depends on the rest.
You could probably type it faster.
I could type it faster.
Everybody sleeps, but no two people sleep alike. At Coop Sleep Goods, we celebrate the way you sleep differently. We believe everyone deserves a great night's sleep with their own pillow, and the adjustable, customizable Coop pillow makes it easy. Whether you're a side sleeper, back sleeper, or even a starfish, we've got the perfect pillow for you. Crafted with our innovative memory foam and microfiber fill, our hypoallergenic pillows adjust to you, not the other way around. Just tailor the fill for the perfect fit. Add some in, take some out, until your pillow's just right for you. See why luxury hotels and spas worldwide feature Coop Sleep Goods and why we have tens of thousands of 5-star reviews. With our 100-night risk-free trial, you've got nothing to lose, except those sleepless nights. Get up to 50% off selected items during our Black Friday Cyber Monday sale when you visit coopsleepgoods.com/comedy. That's COOP sleepgoods.com/comedy.
Why get all your holiday decorations delivered through Instacart? Because maybe you only bought 2 wreaths, but have 12 windows. Or maybe your toddler got very eager with the advent calendar. Or maybe the inflatable snowman didn't make it through the snowstorm. Or maybe the twinkle lights aren't twinkling. Whatever the reason this season, Instacart's here for hosts and their whole holiday haul. Get decorations from the Home Depot, CVS, and more through Instacart and enjoy free delivery on your first 3 orders. Service fees and terms apply.
I'm writing for some big sister advice. I'm a 25-year-old single female who recently graduated from grad school. Yes.
Right.
I started my first full-time job. I have not invested too much time in looking for a relationship because of my busy schedule. For a little more context, I'm in the medical field, and I was also a collegiate athlete. Therefore, between going to classes, clinical rotations, and practice, my little free time went to homework, trying to catch up on sleep. In grad school, I was taking full course loads along with completing more rotations and doing per diem jobs on the side to make money. I guess you can say I put a lot of time and effort into my studies, which I'm very proud of. Now that I've gotten more comfortable at my job and getting to know the area a little better, I would like to branch out and see potential options for relationships. I'm content being on my own and doing my own thing, but I have this feeling like I should experience what it's like being in a relationship. Most of my best friends are all in long-term 3+ years relationships. And whenever we hang out, there's always a comment of me still being single. I typically respond with some type of witty comeback, which shuts it down, but something will always come back up when we hang out. I haven't been in a fully committed relationship before, so I'm looking for some big sister advice on how to navigate dating in your 20s. I have tried going on some dating apps, but to be totally honest, it's kind of rough. And I have recently gone back through and rewatched Eliza's old specials to try to pick up some free advice. But I would like to hear what you guys think of the whole picture. Thank you so much for your time. One of my friends and I got to see you live a couple years ago in Massachusetts. Loved it. Anonymous.
Love. Okay, first of all, Anonymous, I have to say that you are doing things exactly right. Like, I am so proud of you for like crushing it with your masters and working so hard, and your attention has been in exactly the right places. Yeah. So no stress. And I really, like, I hated when people said this to me when I was in my 20s, but you're so young. And I know that that's a very annoying thing to hear, but I don't mean it to be patronizing or to mean like none of these things are real. I mean it to just like try to take a little pressure off of you and maybe make you feel a little bit of relief in that, like, there's just so much time to have all of these experiences.
Oh God, yeah.
And when you say like, I feel like I should be in a relationship, like, is that coming from a place of you wanting it? Or are you feeling like this is something you should have because your friends are partnered? If it's the latter, like, you're good.
Yeah.
You're so good. Like,
do they have careers like you?
Yes.
Do they have backgrounds like you? Did they go to graduate school? Like,
and like crushing it, picking up other work and like just making it happen. Like, you are so good. By the way, you don't need to be on dating apps. Like, you know, when you're out sometimes, if like someone's cute and you start flirting and you feel like going on a date with them or making out with them or whatever, great. But like, you don't have to do more than that.
You don't have to do anything.
You don't have to do anything.
Plenty of people, or do an app later, or have it and never turn it on, or use it when you're only on the toilet. Like,
yeah.
At this age, you're out more. You are forming yourself. Yes. You are forming yourself for the self that you're going to need later, for the person that you're going to want to meet. Take a look. It's not about like shitting on your friends, but like take a look at those friends. Mm-hmm. The two don't have to be mutually exclusive. You can have a great boyfriend and go to grad school and do whatever, but are they crushing it as hard as you? And even if they are, like, it's just to make you feel a little bit better. I was never in a relationship longer than a year.
Same.
Until I got married.
Yeah.
For whatever that's worth.
Yeah, same.
So who cares? And also at 25, like, oh, cool, you've been in a 3+ year relationship at 25. Like, cool.
Yeah.
What do I do with that? Like, who cares?
You just strike me as somebody who really wants to like work on themselves and their own career and like get where you're going. And that's rad because all of that is going to serve you in later down the road if you choose, should you want it, choosing a partner who is well matched for you.
Yeah. You are going to want someone that appreciates all how multifaceted you are. And you might just be too good for some people right now.
Yeah.
And that's great.
Just have fun, enjoy your life and keep crushing it. You're doing great.
Yeah. You're
good.
You're so good. I shouldn't have even read it. That's how little we're worried about you. Okay. Moving on to weddings.
Okay.
Love the pod. You're such a great insights and always provide a good laugh. This is more of the same, but I need help nonetheless. Haha. A childhood. Oh, this is a good one. This is a scrumptious one.
Okay.
I feel like you're going to have so many. I feel like this is your next book. It's not your next book. A child. Is that such an annoying thing to say?
No.
Yes, it is. I mean, you can use this in your act.
Oh, thank you so much.
Don't look me in the eye. I shouldn't have said that to you.
Okay.
A childhood friend of mine, Rachel, in quotes, is mad she wasn't in my wedding. Or maybe it's her mom who was mad.
Ooh.
I got married last year. We rented a house and had a semi-destination backyard wedding. We hosted the wedding party and their spouses in the house for a couple of days. And then all the festivities were held on property. It was perfect. Other than that, the wedding itself was pretty standard. Okay. Background. Rachel and I were adopted at the same time through the same group. So our families have known each other since we were babies. She's one of those people who's always considered a friend, even if we aren't really that close and we haven't talked in years. We're 28 now.
Got it.
Apparently, 3 months after the wedding, Rachel's mom called my mom and said it was disrespectful to not have Rachel in my wedding because Rachel and I were like sisters, that I must have only cared about the party if I wasn't willing to acknowledge lifelong friendships, that she would have been more inclined to come to the wedding had Rachel been in it. Rachel did come as a guest, and that she was so nice for not making this a big deal before the wedding.
Oh, so the mom is saying like Rachel was so nice that she didn't bring this up?
I think the mom is either saying that or she's saying Rachel was so nice. I think
Right.
the mom is saying that.
That Rachel was so nice for not bringing it up.
Sure, either way, it's a disgusting sentence.
Yeah.
My mom was caught off guard and was trying to defend me by saying I have a lot of close girlfriends, a sister-in-law, and how maybe we're more like acquaintances, she and Rachel. So bad call on my mom's end because that's not how I would have phrased it. And also Rachel's mom said that she would tell Rachel she should consider me an acquaintance, not a friend. I'm annoyed Rachel didn't come to me directly because I'm assuming there's a lot of miscommunication going on. Also, why go to my mom? She didn't have a say in who my bridesmaids were. I understand being disappointed you aren't in someone's wedding. That's totally fine, but to blow up a friendship over it? I thought it was an acquaintanceship. I didn't mean to hurt her feelings, and so far the only hurtful things actually said have been from the moms. If we had a bigger wedding and a bigger wedding party, maybe she would have been in it. But what good is it for me to know she's upset after the wedding? Now I just feel bad. But honestly, even if I could go back in time, I would still pick the same people. We thought about who our biggest support people are and who would get along in the house, a low-stress group,
Right.
people willing to help a ton, number to make the sides semi-equal. But is an explanation really something I owe her? Also, if it is, how would I gently tell someone there's other friends I'm closer with? Because honestly, even if I added one more person, I don't think it would have been her. For the last month, I've been beating myself up over this. She really does mean a lot to me, but she's not someone I go to for advice, comfort, or to rant. I'm sad and want to mend this relationship, but it's awkward since everything I know is just hearsay. She hasn't once said anything to me directly about this. We now live near each other, so once I found out she was mad, I tried to hang out with her. She said she's been busy and asked if there was anything on my mind. I said, yeah, I want to catch up, and I haven't heard from her since. What should I do now? Am I in the wrong? Should brides tell all their friends they aren't in the wedding? But that feels presumptuous. How does one apologize for something they didn't say? Sorry for whatever your mom said, my mom said. I didn't even hear the conversation until a month after it happened. Is this friendship worth fighting for? Just forget it. I promise to follow up. Woo!
Woo!
So much reading.
I'm so curious on your thoughts on this.
Oh, yeah, thoughts. Do you want to fire off? Or you want to go?
Well, first of all, I just feel like there's so much he said, well, not even she said going on in this thing. Like you're assuming that she's upset. First of all, you don't even know if she's upset, like you said. These are just the moms
upset.
talking. She's upset.
Rachel's a dud and the mom is a yenta.
Right. Okay.
That's what happened.
That's what happened.
Rachel's lame.
Yes.
And this girl is only in your life because of the circumstances you had no control over, which is that you were both adopted at the same time.
Yeah.
We all have friends like this. And where it's like they're just kind of there, but you've grown apart. You said that.
Yes.
It's so immature
Yeah.
Let's say Rachel was upset about it. That's not what real friends do. They don't get upset about the wedding. There's also a misunderstanding here. Like, she's thinking you're really close, which also makes me think she's a dud, because that's kind of like a weirdo loser thing. Like, I thought we were close. You're like, why did you think that?
Right.
Can you point to evidence? Like, when's the last time you hung out? Did you take this girl for granted? And she kind of always has been there, and it would have cost you nothing to have her there.
Right.
But it is your wedding. This clearly, I think this upset the girl, and she said something to her mom. I think first of all, the fact that she doesn't want to address it is weird, but face-to-face talking about it. I can't tell if you were close.
Right.
Because you could also be close and then like the last 3 years you didn't talk and then you invite them. So it does seem like, and I don't think you're wrong for this. You're like, look, we had everyone staying in our house.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if everyone's coupled up and Rachel is single, but you were thinking of that dynamic. It could have been, we have 3 beds, we had 6 people, and they're all together. I don't know where to put you, you know? What's missing is your response.
In other words, what's missing is her response to Rachel.
What's missing is you and Rachel talking and your response.
Yeah.
The mom is going to be, I mean, you can't really control that. And
no, that just is what it is. That just is what it is. And listen, like, people lose their minds about weddings. I mean, I just got married. I chose to get married with just our parents because, like, I just couldn't deal. I mean, honestly, like, I just could not deal with the dynamics of wedding.
Right.
I just could not deal with it. However, when you choose to have a wedding party, you know, you're naturally including some people and not including some people. And, like, you know, people have a right to be upset about that if they want to. And also you have a right to do things the way you want to do them because it's your wedding. And, like, it's okay for those two things to be true, but I think you guys just need to speak.
You need to speak. And also what would have been nice, and maybe you could admit this, is like, I should have come to you before to explain the dynamics of the wedding we chose
Why
to have.
I chose to do it this way.
Yeah. I
the house and the whatever.
Come with your hat in your hand and be like, I didn't mean to leave you out. I feel really bad that I did that. And I feel really bad that we haven't been able to talk about it. Because clearly this girl was feeling like you were closer. She could be a loser. She could be a total dud and her mom's annoying. It hurt her feelings and that's not what you wanted. So you need to tell her that.
Yeah.
She may not want to hang out with you because she's like, I don't know, this girl, like, after all these years, like, her, you know.
And maybe it's not appropriate for you guys to have as close of a friendship. Like, maybe that was just naturally happening. And
or maybe you don't. And you're like, what the fuck, dude? Like, why is this dud like getting upset? And so then you just write her an email. If she really won't see you, you could just write her a nice email.
Yes.
And you could also, the mom is kind of,
Can I say,
forever.
The older that I get, the more I realize that, like, it is very rarely the wrong answer to, like, to very humbly come to somebody and apologize for hurting them in some way.
I do it all the time.
It really, like, it is very rarely the wrong answer. And it doesn't really actually matter who's right. It's a kind and good thing for just, like, your own life and your relationships to have that be a little bit of a practice.
But also it releases you from the tsuris that you're feeling.
Yes.
Like, you're like, look, even if you were wrong, like, look, I extended an olive branch and I tried. And now the ball's in their court and you will feel better because you did hurt her feelings.
Yeah.
It was a little selfish, I'm assuming. But again, I can't really tell if you were close or you think you drifted apart. And she's like, really? I see you every Friday.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to hurt you. And Rebecca's absolutely right. But what's missing is that connectivity. The mom, I don't know how close you are to the mom. You hurt her baby. So she's going to hate you forever. And I get that. But what you want is her to take it back to the mom and be like, Mom, we solved it. Leave me alone.
Yes. Yeah, you should forget the mom. You can't, like, you're not going to talk to the mom.
Yeah.
Just try to have, like, try to go to lunch with her or something. And if you can't, write her a very nice email.
Like, I felt real bad. Or maybe you're saying you don't really feel bad. Just be like, here were the dynamics. The intention was never to deliberately leave you out. I want to apologize if I hurt you.
Yes.
Don't say weird things like, I'm sorry you feel that way.
No.
Although that's not an apology. Okay.
This is really fun. Honestly, like, I could do this all day. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, there is, it's not that you take pleasure in people's pain, but it is very satisfying and it is a nice vacation to dab. These are issues. These are serious things bothering people. And sometimes the questions are very serious, but there is something to, like, get into the nitty gritty of like who wore what dress. It's just, there's something specifically female and delicious
Yes.
about some of this drama,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
Hello. Probably not the first time you've been asked this question and definitely not the last. In summary, it's about bridesmaids' wedding gift etiquette. For context, I'm a 31 female who's a bridesmaid in my wonderful friend's wedding. We met in residency and many of the bridal party. I already know this is going to be about money. You said residency. Someone's going to have no money. We met in residency and many of the bridal party are similarly still in medical training and therefore on a limited budget. I have not done the total math for this bachelorette party yet, but conservatively, the expenses are around $1,500 to $2,000 a head for a long weekend, not including the fact that this is a non-holiday weekend, which would require at least 1 or 2 days off work. On top of that, the wedding is a destination wedding. Not a super duper expensive destination, but a destination nonetheless. When considering all these expenses the bridesmaids have incurred, what is the correct thing to do when it comes to a wedding gift? It's never my intention to shortchange a friend who I adore. I'm so happy to be your bridesmaid for her wedding. I understand that many of the expenses from the bachelorette may not even be dictated by her, but rather her maid of honor. I also totally understand that there is some level of expense that comes with agreeing to be a bridesmaid that is on top of another wedding guest. But at what point do you draw the line and say, hey, I've spent so much money on you already? It somehow feels tackier to just give a nice card without any cash or gift associated with it. And it would just be easy to say, hey, my presence is enough. But at the same time, again, I'm not at all wanting to shortchange my friend, just needing to understand what's actually expected from me at this point. Oof. A lot of money.
I mean, weddings have just become like the cost associated with weddings is obscene, especially for people getting married, like, you know, earlier in their lives or in like, I mean, the fact that we are supposed to do showers and bachelorette parties and weddings. And I mean, it's like all of your discretionary income, basically. It's a lot. It's just a lot. I think that, so I don't like you should not be required to go broke for somebody. You just shouldn't.
Yeah. Unless you're a boy taking a girl out on a date.
Yeah. And
she
I
put
think,
on lip gloss.
and it sounds like you've committed to doing this, you know, I think she said the bachelorette was going to be like $1,000 to $2,000,
She's
right?
estimating.
She's
She doesn't know,
estimating.
yeah.
Yeah. But so I also, by the way, like, I think it is totally fair to say that the wedding is a destination. Like, I want to be there for you. I love you. I like, you can also not make that bachelorette. Like, if that bachelorette is going to be $2,000 and you don't have that $2,000, you are not required to attend that. Like, you can have, I think it's all in the communication. And I think friends actually are very understanding when you come to them in like reasonable and kind and open-hearted ways.
That's if this is a friend you're willing to bleed this much for, then she's a friend who would be like, you don't have to get me a gift.
yeah,
Like, I
you don't
really
have
love
to
that
get
you're
me
there.
Yes.
You know, you could be like, would you rather I just give you $1,000?
Yeah, you can make a joke about it. You could say like, I really want to get you a gift, but this is like, she knows how much all of this is costing, whether she wants to look at it or not.
That's right.
She knows how much all of this
knows.
is costing. And it is totally appropriate to just have like a kind and sweet conversation with her and just say, like, you know, I want to give you the world. I love you so much.
Yes.
I would do anything for you. You know, here, like, money's a little bit tight here. You know, the situation, here's what's going on. I want to be able to be there for all these events. I'm just not going to be able to get you a gift. Like, is that okay? I feel terrible. She's going to be like, oh my God, don't even worry about it.
She would be a monster if she's like, I need that gift. I guess the other question is like, a gift it could be a $75 gift.
Yes.
Like, a gift doesn't have to be Waterford Crystal. The gift could be a Target gift card. You know,
Yes. You could get her some like little monogram tea towels off Etsy. Like, sometimes like the sweetest, smallest things are the things that I end up like loving the most.
Monogrammed tissues for the day of.
Yeah.
Just so you could,
like a little handkerchief or something.
That's right. For when
That's
you know,
sweet.
something small, something meaningful, but no friend would, unless she's a bitch, will have a problem with you being like, I just can't do both. Or could I come for half of it? Like, how long is this bachelorette party?
Yeah.
Could I just come for the dinner? You don't want to make it difficult. Like, what if I just come and I only have an appetizer?
No,
or like, what if I
no.
don't pay for the bed? But you could say like, hey, I'm going to skip the brunch, but I'm going to join you guys at the dinner. Like,
yes.
think about that.
Yes.
But again, this comes back to like women being afraid of your friends. And it's not like she's planning a coronation. Of course, you don't want to bog the bride down with stuff. But if this is someone you're willing to spend this much money on, you have an open line of communication.
Yes. And honestly, like you seem like an incredibly thoughtful and really kind and loving friend. And I don't think this is an issue here. I think figure out what you can financially and realistically do and communicate that to her. And I think you're going to be fine.
Yeah. It's time for Top of the Cob.
It's the top of the cob. We're doing it right every day. You just take a bite, top of the cob.
My Top of the Cob is a shitty one. And I feel bad that I just thought of this. But my top of the, well, I guess you should go first. You're the guest.
Whatever. Yours is happening in real time. So why don't you?
In real time, I got an email from my daughter's school saying that someone in her class had RSV and my daughter's not been feeling well. So we take her to the doctor who, don't know why when we took her yesterday, they didn't test her for this, given that she looks like she has RSV, did a whole panel on her. And I'm like, make sure they don't charge you twice. Like that's bullshit. That's negligent to like not test a kid for the thing that all kids get. Doesn't have RSV, which means we can have the nanny. She has like a little eye infection, whatever. I can hear them. He just took her home from the doctor and he's in there with the nanny in the kitchen. I can hear them in the other room. And he's like, stop touching your eye. Please get this orange. You asked for it. Like he's being a parent. And I am kind of reveling in being a piece of shit that's like, oh, sorry, I can't help. I'm recording my podcast. And I just told Rebecca, I was like, I think I'm going to stay in here a little bit longer. They don't need me. There's 2 adults in there.
They're fine.
I can't help her not touch her eye.
They're good.
And that's fine. Whatever the excuse. I've got a friend over.
Yeah.
I'm doing a podcast is the shittiest excuse. Like it's such a loser. Like I've got my podcast.
But it's true.
But I do.
It happens to be true.
People
right
need
now.
these promo codes. I'm
It happens
pregnant,
to
whatever.
be true.
So my top of the cob is like, I guess the fact that I've created a life where I can like take an extra 10 minutes to just like be in the office or on the toilet.
Yeah. Okay, my top is going to sound so self-congratulatory, but it's just like doing things that you were uncomfortable with. Like I really feel like Michael Scott in The Office, but I just ran my first 5K last weekend.
You did?
Yeah. And I just want to say, like, I was never able to run. Like, I work out a lot. We work out together
We have the
sometimes.
same trainer.
Yeah. Like,
We were supposed to do it before this podcast.
Yeah. Like I work out a lot, whatever, but running is a whole different thing. And I've always just been really envious of people who could just like go out and like run 2 miles. I was like, man, like that'd be a cool skill, especially when you're on like book tour or whatever.
Like you said 2 miles, like not even a whole marathon. Just
I know.
2 miles.
Just 2 miles. Just
it's
like
hard.
Just to like be able to do it. So anyway, I started off like in September and I was running like 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off.
Oof.
And like this weekend, I did a 5K, which is 3.1 miles. And like, whatever, it's nothing. Like,
No, it's
people are out here running marathons. But I just like want to say that it feels really good to set like small, manageable goals and achieve them.
Yeah.
And actually, to be honest, like this actually felt like a pretty hard one because I had really never run before. But like, I don't know, just like, don't stop. Like, congratulate yourself on the small wins. Like, it was a 5K, but you know what? I feel proud of that. And so
I'm proud of you.
that's my top of the cob. It just feels good to be like, I want to do that thing and then do it, even if that thing is small. And even if it's dumb and even if it's like not that productive, like whatever. I have so many more important things going on in my life right now than like learning how to like run 2 miles.
And knowing how to run, period.
But like just doing something because you want to do it, because like it's a thing you want to do is enough sometimes.
I love that.
So,
And that's a great overall note for a lot of the questions written in. Like, it's the thing you want to do. You
it's
want
the
the
thing you wanna
house,
do.
which is a huge goal. Like, do the thing you want to do.
Yeah. It like doesn't, I don't know. It doesn't have to make a lot of sense. It doesn't have to be like the most productive. It doesn't have to be like a part of a plan. Like,
This is a part of a plan. It's
like
true.
just like if you want to do it, just like take steps to do it. And then like,
I feel like girls feel that way about their nails. Like, it doesn't matter. It's probably bad for you, but I just really wanted to get these like
Yeah.
koi pond themed
Yeah.
nails.
it's nice.
Sometimes it's nice, whether it's like buying yourself something or working out. I hate running, but I have definitely gone through phases in my life, primarily during COVID, where I'm like, I think I'm going to get into running.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, maybe I'll do a 5K one day because it's nice to tangibly accomplish
Yes,
something.
It is.
Good for you.
It is nice to tangibly.
Although I will say, when Alicia told me you were training for that, I made a vomit sound.
Of course.
But
I mean,
haven't
everyone's
really-
like been giving me so much shit, but I enjoyed it. So
Where'd you run?
It was a Venice 5K.
So I love it.
Yeah, it was nice.
Was Jared like at the end with like,
He was like, "Should I come and
Electrolytes.
bring a sign?" But like earnestly, because my husband is just like,
that's so
the
sweet.
sweetest.
Did you
I
go to
know.
eat after?
Yeah,
The best.
it was nice.
The best.
It was just nice.
All right.
All right, bottom.
Juicy bottom.
Should I go? Or you want to go?
It doesn't matter.
My bottom is like, I'm trying to get specific on this, but honestly, it's like communication on the phone. And it's like, it's text message, it's DMs. Like we've gotten to this point where everything that occurs needs to be acknowledged. And I resent that. And there's just too much communication going on. Not every email needs like a response. Like not every DM needs to be like double clicked, hearted.
Yes.
Like if we're texting, we don't need to say like goodbye or whatever. Like sometimes you just need to like drop some information and get out and like trust the other person like knows how to fucking read. I think we've gone too far. Mm-hmm. We are communicating too much and it is unproductive and it's ridiculous.
It's always about because it's really hard to infer intention. Even if it's something is punctuated well, most people are too dumb. And so you're always like, if I don't send a heart emoji, are they going to know I'm not mad?
Yes.
I texted you the other day with a question and you were like, I'm at dinner, we were like with Jared and his parents.
Yeah.
And you were like, can it wait till tomorrow? And I was like, no, it's okay. And I was like, kind of not mad at you, but I was like, I could text it to her. It's too long. But you were saying like, hey, I'm doing something. I can't answer this now. And I wrote, no, it's okay. And you didn't write back. And I was like, I actually, while I do feel like maybe she hates me now, I do respect that.
Yeah.
It's
no, but I'm saying like, I think we all just need to get more, and it has nothing to do with the relationship. It has nothing to do with we have to get more comfortable with communicating in a way that is not like diminishing our resources over like.
You are yelling.
Am I yelling? I feel really strongly about this.
I feel you. I love it.
It's gotten out of control.
I completely agree. And I also think having these conversations with your friends where you're like, no, like they're not being passive aggressive. Like they just don't want to write back an emoticon, an emoji, an extra thing. Because I've talked about this where it's endlessly like, thanks, LOL. Okay, great. Yeah. That was actually going to be my bottom of the cob, but I was like, stop talking about pregnancy things. But I'll change mine to match yours.
Yeah.
It is the constant, people are doing it from a good place, keeping up. Like I have fielded texts in the last week that are like, hey, any day now.
Right.
How are you feeling? I'm like, I'm fine. Like I don't want to answer this.
Yeah.
I don't want to answer, how's New York?
Right.
How's the trip?
Yes.
When you ask me a question that is huge, like, hey, how was Europe?
Yes. It's lazy.
It's lazy. It's up there with congrats.
Yes.
Let's be specific in our interactions and intentions.
I 100% agree.
I love you for it. This is why we get along.
Mm-hmm. This is fun.
It's so, because women aren't allowed to express this. It was like, wow, because why didn't you give a smile? It's like, 'cause I'm fucking busy.
Yeah.
I don't want to write back. It hurts.
Yeah. My husband's not having this issue in his friendships and his relationships and his work. Like, this is not happening.
No. Nobody expects this from men.
No.
Men will go days without writing you back.
Yeah.
I've started doing that. And I think part of it is becoming a mom, but just not deliberately, but like, oh, I forgot to write this back. Because you're constantly like catching up on these things.
Yes.
If it matters, they'll get back to you enough. But like, hopefully you know me well enough to know that like, I'm not mad at you. I don't want to.
Yes, totally. And if somebody really needs something, they can follow up again, like it's okay.
Especially work stuff.
Like we can let a few things slide. It's okay.
It's okay. And I love that our bottoms matched.
Yeah.
I love that you brought me flowers. And I love that expiration dates is out March 19th. And I wanted to do this podcast now so that we didn't have to do it while I was like postpartum. The book's going to be great. Wait, I read the book. The book is great. Sorry, I really did. And you're also the friend that reads books. Like you read my book.
I loved your book. I love it. Loved.
You have too many books for me to read, but I have read some of them.
Yeah.
And
you have.
I have.
Yeah.
I have. It's beautiful.
I think you've read
writing.
all the recent ones.
Yeah. And so we're going to link the book and the bio and everything, all that in the podcast. But you guys aren't stupid. Like you can get it where you get books.
Yeah. Anywhere you get books.
You would prefer they get it from an independent bookstore.
Yes. I'd prefer you get it from an independent bookstore. Also, Diesel Books in Los Angeles is my signed book home. So if you want a signed copy of a book or you want me to personalize a book for somebody in your life, you can do that, but only at Diesel Books.
Where's Diesel Books?
It's in Brentwood in Los Angeles. And you can go I think it's Diesel Books is their Instagram handle.
Yeah.
Look up Diesel Books LA online.
And you're going on a book tour.
I'm going on a book tour. Yes. I'm doing a big East Coast. I'm going to be in Nashville. I'm going to be in St. Louis, and all of that's on my Instagram too. So please, I mean, if you like my books and you want to talk about books, and come out.
Her Instagram is at Rebecca Serle, at Rebecca Serle. And all the info's there. But you guys are already fans, and this was nice to do. Emily, you're fired. This is
I
great.
love you. I love you. Thank you.
I love you.